The last two conversations were really good.
Good.
You know, I'm trying to be nice to you.
And I appreciate it.
You know,
But
we
I
have
appreciate it.
a.
And I'm sorry for throwing you under the bus.
Oh, don't be, because I will definitely take the opportunity to throw you up underneath the bus any opportunity I get. So don't worry about that, Haji. I'll definitely do that. But I want to be nice in front of our guests because we do have another in-studio guest, Alvin Glimp. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Perfectly.
Thank you. And Alvin is an entrepreneur. You're an author. You know, you work with our young people. Haja is always trying to tap into the young people. We have a person in our studio, our engineer is a young person who actually taught me how to do the boards, and he's just been working. So we always like to work with the young people, and it's very interesting. When I had the opportunity to hear, you know, some of the things you were doing, your sister told us, we were like, let's get him on the show. Let's talk about this. And you also have a talk radio show that you do in Atlanta. Because you're not even from New York. You're just visiting.
Well, I'm from New York, but I live in Atlanta.
Oh, but you live in Atlanta. Are you cold? Were you cold today?
I was freezing.
Freezing. Right, exactly, because it's cold. But I'm so glad that you're here with us. I'm glad you had the chance to come in and talk to us and stuff.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. You were actually working with young people today, right?
Now, I've been working with young people for the last 2 days since I've been in New York. So it's been a great opportunity since I've been up here to bring my message of essentially my story can be their story, because it's ironic that we were just listening to KRS-One and You Must Learn. That's really what I was trying to teach them, that you must learn if you want to earn. I'm really a believer that the more you learn is the more you earn, and that's really what the data shows, is that those who get degrees earn more money in this society. So I'm a big believer in community development, economic development, and how we're going to do that, get more degrees in our community. So when I get a chance to talk to kids, I'm about doing the right thing, making good choices so that you can access this American dream through getting a degree. I'm just a big believer in that, and that's my story. So when I get in front of the kids, I talk to them about my story, one of resilience, of persistence, but also people pouring into me and helping me understand that college was a way that really changed my life and actually changed my whole family's life. I told the story today that my father grew up in South Carolina, extremely poor. One that was from an abusive household, one of 10 kids, but when he came up here, he accessed a job, worked 2 jobs, and then got an associate's degree. So when you look at our family, I have a father who grew up extremely poor, and then 2 generations later, he has grandchildren that are living a very comfortable life in Atlanta. To me, what I'm trying to convince these kids to understand is that the only way that happened was through education. So if you really want to change your life, go get a degree, go get an education. And not only will it change your life, but it can change your parents' life. It can change your grandchildren's life. And that's the message that I really try to pour into our kids.
Yes, awesome, because many times when you're doing something as a young person, you're going to get a degree. You don't know who you're inspiring. Like, I inspire Haja all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what he does on his off time, but I know when he's around me, he's inspired by me. He is. I know this. But on a real note, it's really interesting because you said 2 or 3 generations down, it changes something. Something happens. You change something in your family, and that story is a lot of story that a lot of, and I don't just want to say black people, but a lot of people have. A lot of people who grow up in the urban community or maybe rural communities, but we grow up with not as much. Many of our grandparents have that same story. Our fathers, our mothers have that same story. So it's through that education that we're able to change it. And it might not even be, okay, so you may be a tradesperson, or you may be in fashion, but there's education that comes with it.
And my story can be your story. That's not a catchphrase that I made up myself. Be honest, I stole it from our First Lady, Michelle Obama. And the real thing is, when you think about her story, she came from the mean streets of Chicago, went off to Princeton, now she's in the White House. And when she gets up in front of kids, that's what she tries to explain to them, is that we all have issues, we all have challenges, we all have things that we've overcome. But the easiest way to success in this society is through an education. So I really believe that you don't have to get a 4-year degree, you don't have to go get a law degree, you can get a technical degree, you can get a certificate. Because what the data shows is that in 2020, they're predicting that 60% of all of the jobs are going to require some type of degree. And if I'm preaching that the more you learn, the more you earn, so the more degrees you get, the more money you're going to make. Well, what do you think those jobs that don't require a degree are going to be? They're going to be the lower paying jobs. So I'm trying to get our kids to understand that if you want to access this economy and make some money to live a comfortable life, in the future they're saying the way to do it is going to require some type of degree.
You
So
know,
that's what I'm preaching.
what I think happens oftentimes is that many times young people hear, and I'm not trying to discredit this story because this is a lot of other people's story, but a lot of times they hear, well, you know, Bill Gates or this person didn't go to school or this person doesn't have to do that. But what they need to understand is that it's something you said. It may be a trade. It may be technical. There's something about learning something. So even if, like yourself, you're an entrepreneur, even if you're going to be an entrepreneur, there was something that you had to learn.
Correct. And it's not just the learning, but it's the networking that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
It's the resilience. It's the ability to accomplish goals. All of that is what you need in being an entrepreneur. And I'm never saying that this is the only way to be successful. There's plenty of people that have been successful without a degree. I get that. It's the easiest way to be successful because it gives you options and opportunities when we come across those failures and the time where you're unemployed in life.
Yeah.
You have a degree that can allow you to fall back with in terms of getting more opportunities.
Right.
Just want to throw this out there as kind of counterbalance. There are young people who feel like by the time that they get their degrees or get their accomplishments, that the jobs won't necessarily be there. Some people feel like that.
I get that, but again, to me, this is the easiest path. Life isn't easy. Life is going to be hard. So there's going to be even with the law degree, you might not get a law position.
Right.
But I'm just saying, if you're going to play your odds, the easiest way to go get a degree.
You know what?
And one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
When I was in college, I opened my first business.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're there, it's nothing to say that you go to school to get a job. No, you just go to school to give yourself more options and opportunities, meet people, and create that network so that you can achieve the goal that you want.
You know, I think that's what I was actually going to say. That it's interesting because oftentimes, you know, we think about it, there are not a lot of jobs. You know, and I think the job pool will shrink. It's going to get less. So even if you want to create your own jobs, if you want to create your own lifestyle, sometimes going to school, when you go to school, you usually don't even work in the field that you go to get a degree in. But it causes you to think in a certain way. You know, it causes you to open your brain and start seeing things and problem solve and think about things in another way. So I think another thing is just that opening of your brain, and then also meeting, like you said, it's a social thing, like meeting certain people. You know, Patrick, I don't know how you feel about that. But I know you had to learn how to do cameras and you had to learn how to do all those things. You know, did you meet different people? Did you see life in a different way once you started doing that? And once you had that training, did it open up a new realm of things for you?
Of course. I mean, ultimately, the way I even came up there was through here. And I was taught at 13. I grew up here. I've been on this board since, not this board specifically, but I've been in this family, you know, the WHCR, since I was like 13, 14 years old, and I was actually taught, like, cause I his father. Shout out to Wally, cause I his father, and basically yes. So through here, that opened the door for me to be at M&N, where I was, where I was once learning the cameras to become an actual lead producer at the time.
Right.
So even now, right now, where I am now, actually working with a lot of individual YouTube producers and other type of producers. So this is definitely opened up. It's going further than even I can expect this.
So it
Yeah,
did.
a ripple effect.
Yeah, it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And you know, we had a show on M&N, and it was through Patrick that we actually had the show, and we didn't even